Well, and I'm so glad we're starting this Tuesday call. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. It's one of those things. I was having problem with the software, and I've had this problem before, and I did not know how to deal with it. So it took quite a bit of time to get on there. These technical difficulties, I guess we just kind of have to we just have to just kind of swallow it and just kind of figure it out. So I was a little anxious as I was coming on. So welcome. We made it to Drop Sugar, Drop Fat for Good. We're in our mini weekly class. I'm going to add on from what we talked about last week. So I'm going to bring up some of the stuff we talked about last week, but it's going to be where we're going to go more in depth in a quick, logical way. I'm going to show you what you can do with just having a variety of different vegetables, how to plan for having, hitting those specific marks for fiber, for sugar, and so making sure you're not overdoing it. But this is going to give you just a good structure on what it really takes to really balance the body. And we start looking at the food that we're eating, why we really want to go to, I call it real food, whole food, whatever that is. Why we're doing that is because every food outside of that arena, anything in a package, in a can, it has tendencies to give us inflammation. There's some people that don't get affected by it, but if you really think about it, there's quite a few people out there that have chronic disease that seem like they're healthy, and then all of a sudden stuff happens. And so I want you to feel like you have a really good control over what's happening in your day-to-day with your energy. If your energy is gold, and your skin's looking great and you're feeling good in your body, then you're doing good stuff. The last thing I would test at all times, though, would be knowing to make sure that you're not acidic, that your body's not acidic, that you're an alkaline. And as soon as when you're an alkaline, it does something very special. It really tells you that you're taking care of your body 100%. So if you believe that you're eating healthy, I would go out there and I would order some strips off of, I'd do Amazon because that's an easy way to do it, but you may have some local store you can go to or some online place. But I would actually go and check to see if you're in alkaline, because alkaline is important, because that means that you're cleaning yourself to the point where you're not going to have to worry about cancer, because cancer actually sits in an acidic body. So if you're eating really healthy and your diet is really balanced, but it's still not getting there, then make sure that all the stuff you're learning here, that you're taking notes and you're really adding it, because because sometimes you may believe that you're eating healthy until you really get down to everything that you're doing. And the alkaline test, the acidity alkaline test, will really give that to you. I had a client that came in about 2-3, she's on her 3rd month right now. And she came in telling me she was eating healthy. And when she told me what she was eating, I was surprised. She was eating very healthy. As we went along, though, we had to start having her document things and really start looking at stuff of why she couldn't lose the weight that she wanted to lose. And the reason there were 2 things that were going on. First, I wanted her to get into alkaline so that we knew that she was healthy. And the other thing is that she wanted to lose her last 10 pounds. So this woman just looks beautiful, magnificent. But when you get to that point when you have those last pounds are really, really hard. So she was eating decent and good to get her to that point. But to really give her body 100%, to make sure that she was in full health, we had to really get her into the alkaline state. And it took a few months for us to figure it out. And her biggest thing was she was not eating enough during the day. And she's really high strung. So the anxiousness and the stress and all that kind of stuff was, bringing her cells into, like a hyper mode, and really releasing a lot of different things with, our adrenal gland and with the cortisol, and, basically her hormones were off a bit. So we got those aligned, and we started really focusing in on getting her body to the point of being alkaline. And we did that by adding the fiber. So today I'm going to talk about the fiber because that's so important. And I'm going to help you connect with that and what a day looks like. So we're going to go in there. I'll kind of build your plate for you. But today you also get a master grocery list, which I love giving because it's basic stuff today, but it's going to be stuff that I hope hopefully that you believe is gold, because these strategies that I use, you know what? They're so simple, but we make things so complicated. So don't take this simple process and think you did not get enough today, because I'm telling you, the biggest thing is just getting connected with what results you want and why you're here. And the stuff that I'm going to guide you with today, go with it 100%. Give yourself at least a week testing this stuff out. And if you really connect with it, go with it for a month, because we're just building on each day, each week that we meet up. So welcome in. All right, so basically we're focused on fat, because the more sugar you eat, the more your hormones get off, and the more that your midsection gets bigger, and so burning fat is important. So we're going to talk about belly fat, because that's where your sugar levels are high, and that's when you want to align and relax certain hormones so that they're not blasting all the time. If you feel tired all the time, I can probably give you 100% that there's basically a chance that your adrenaline gland is overworking because it's trying to keep you going, and you're exhausted because your adrenal gland got too exhausted. So then we're going to be talking about body fat. So my name is Rhonda Liebig, and I am a holistic health coach. And so, what I do is I make people get really just in line with food and lifestyle. And I call it the 3 pillars. It's food, it's your mindset, and it's also what you're eating. So we're going to talk about your ultra specific plate plan today. And I'm an author of The Fit Solution, 4 Steps to a Sexy, Successful, Authentic You. You have to have the 3 to be just feeling fabulous. It's the #1 best-selling book on Amazon at some point a couple years ago. Also, I have tons of online programs. Actually, I say tons, but about 3. It takes me quite a bit of energy to get those all flowing and working throughout the year. So I keep everything going so I can connect with people online. I also have a studio where people physically come in here. Most of my stuff is this, though, mostly online. I'm a professional speaker. I get out there. I've been on Fox News, really just speaking about what it is in food and medicine, which is wonderful. Also, I'm starting to get my YouTube channel going, Rhonda Liebig. So definitely subscribe, listen to my videos, and catch me over there. Last week, I just got released my interview with Dr. Gail. If you are on my newsletter list, you're going to get a release of this. And I talked a lot about mind focus and how we can really get ourselves tired and exhausted when our mind is not in the right place. So I talked to Dr. Gail about the 10 sabotages that I usually work with every client. And we talked about 3, mainly about 1 that was like a big deal, and we discussed it when we went through. And so it's a really interesting interview. It's about 25 minutes. So I'm going to be releasing that tomorrow. So for your viewing pleasure, I want to make sure that you get yourself all set up. First thing is, make sure you don't have extra windows open on your computer, on your phone, or whatever, so it runs through nice and smooth. I always know that if you are focused 100%, that you're going to get a lot out of it. You may think that you don't get a lot out of it if you're not here with me 100%. So sometimes it's hard. So I'm also going to say silence your phone. And then also the butterfly effect. I want to make sure that you stay focused. And so we want to close extra windows, making sure that you are not, going and searching elsewhere. Also, get a pen and paper. You're going to get some great stuff out of this. If you have a screen capture at all, you're going to want to use that today, because I'm going to give you specifically what a perfect day is. So let's go on with the perfect day here. So what's this all about? I'm going to talk about fiber, sodium, and sugar. So I'll get your mind into alignment with this. Also, we're going to talk about what your plate should look like for each meal. So I'm even going to talk about a snack today. And when I'm done, I'm going to be talking about total calories, total fiber, total sodium, and sugar by the time I build your meal plan. So it's pretty interesting. I'm going to give you the results. If you had a day eating like this, in total, this is how you're going to get 35 to 40 grams of fiber. Also, I'm going to give you a master grocery list, as I told you. So that's going to be real exciting. I love doing that. So let's just roll our shoulders back. Let's think about where we're going with this today. I do a mini class. You're going to get a lot of good information out of this. Again, make sure you have your pen and paper because we are going to be having a fabulous time today. I want you to interact. So if you have any questions, if you have any ideas as you're going through this, I want to hear your epiphanies and your ahas and questions that you may have of something that I'm telling you that may be a question that is related with what you're dealing with now, and what I'm saying may not hold true. So if there's anything that you find that you may be disgruntled about, call me out on it. I'd love to hear from you. All right. So let's just start connecting, because this journey can be very lonely. There's very few people that I know on the outside of the people that I coach that are really focused in on the 3 pillars, which is the mindset, which we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about your ultra specific plate plan formula, which is going to be talking about your food. But we're also, another area is working out. When you have all 3 pillars together, it's hard to find those friends that are moving forward and getting into that space of positive, getting away from the negative of life. Life is very hard, and so what we're working on is pulling up all the positive stuff so that we don't stress out about things that aren't present, that's basically building our world that's going to be present in happy feelings. So also, I'm going to also, sometimes, we're waking up through the night, we can be thinking about all these stressors that are happening in our life. And so once you start being part of a community like this, it helps because you start connecting with what's going on and what's important. And so it's easier to have better sleep at night, where you can rest and not be so scared about, maybe future events or things that happened in the past, maybe being hard on yourself. So trying to mellow that stuff out. If you're dealing with any belly pain, any of the choices that you're making with the foods that you're eating, maybe the stress, sometimes we carry our stress in that belly, that I want you to make sure that you're being connected with the community today. Ask your questions. Any daily anxiety you're dealing with, or feeling held down, like somebody just kind of pushing down on your shoulders and carrying that stress on your shoulders, just get connected today. And remember why you're here and why you want to take notes and get involved. So learn to listen to yourself. Everything we're going to do, make sure that you're just thinking about yourself, where you're stuck, where you feel like you really are in your headspace to help you move forward today. Right now, I'm going to display your fiber, your sodium, and your sugar. I'm just going to give you some numbers, and they may not mean anything to you, but I want you to write them down because it will be meaningful once we get into the food. You want around 35 to 40 grams of fiber, and I'm going to show you a way to do it so that you're eating food instead of taking Metamucil, or you're doing something to add your fiber. The more fruits and vegetables, mainly vegetables, that you have, and the more that you connect with that and you get away from the stuff that you're adding, that so that you add fiber to your day, the better you will be off, because the whole foods are going to give you more energy. When you start looking at the vibrant food that you start eating, that's the whole foods, you realize how important all this stuff is. So the more that you eat of the fiber, the better your body has in processing the food. So if you have food that is in your digestion and it's staying there too long, your body's going to keep absorbing it. And so what you want to do is make sure, let's see here. Make sure that you are watching for your bowel movements, making sure that you're having enough fiber and that the whole process is happening. And if it's not, then you have to be aware of it's harder to keep building your immune system. And I would say a bowel movement a day is good. So let's talk about it. But you want to do maybe even more than that. And what's really important is that you want to just rid your body and let the body flow. And so this is important because if you absorb the stuff that should not be in your body, then that's when you start becoming toxic. The protein is important. I'm going to give you 30 to 40 grams per day so that you can build muscle and repair from your workouts. Even if you're not working out currently, you need that protein to help replenish as you're getting your diet in this kind of this perfect space here as you're building. Then you're going to be basically building more and more muscle and losing the body fat. When you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, you're going to start burning the body fat, and the muscle is going to be burned, and you're not going to be able to tap into the fat and burn it. And the biggest thing to take away from this is when you have really high sugar in your diet, then you're going to be burning that. You're going to be burning the carbs, and you're going to be burning your muscle instead of really burning the fat that you want. So the sugar levels are really important here, and that's why the protein is important, to be aware of how much protein you're having. Sodium is important because if you're doing something that is packaged, it's so easy to get way more than 1,500 milligrams of sugar, of salt in your body. And if you do that, you know the inflammation and the pressure on the joints and what's going on. So you need the sodium for your electrolytes and for making sure that your cells are holding the water. But truly, if you have too much of the sodium, you're going to be bloated and your joints are really going to hurt. And that's when you'll wake up and your body will feel achy in different areas, and you'll start feeling the inflammation happening throughout the day as you go past that. So that's important for keeping your body fat down. Also, sugar, 10 to 15 grams of sugar. Now, this is crazy to be this low in sugar, because I bet if you looked at your sugar consumption right now, it's probably through the roof. It's probably not even around 15 grams. And so I want you to start looking at what 15 grams of sugar is. And so I'm going to give you a day of what a day looks like for all the stuff that I told you, from the sodium to the fiber to the sugar levels, so that you can stay in that balance. All right, so the first thing is I want to build your day, and let's start with the mindset. Okay, so this is important. I'm going to tell you a story, and I think that we all live like this, but I'm going to do it in a goofy way because my client is very silly. So I have this client, and every time she comes in, and we have our coaching session, because she physically comes in and does coaching, she giggles and giggles, and if I put her to the stage of where she is when we talk about her diet, I say she's about a teenager. She's having fun, and she's having fun in the wrong area because she loves sugar, but she keeps telling me that she's not doing good stuff. So she'll come in, and I'd say about the first 10 minutes, she's giggly, silly, being funny. Oh yeah, I had a piece of cake last night. Oh, I stayed up till 2, and she totally just sounds like a teenager. So the first 10 minutes go on about how she is messing up. She's had, and she'll go down the list of all these bad things that she's done and all this kind of stuff. And then after that, we'll start looking at, we kind of pull that away, all the stuff she's doing bad. And then we start looking at what she used to do before she used to do coaching with me, what she's done in the past 2 weeks, that she's even stepped in a wonderful way, even deeper into her health, because now she's eating more vegetables. Now she's actually spending more time in working out. And we start realizing that the reason why she's losing weight right now is because she's stopped doing all the bad stuff every single day, every single night, of eating cake every night, eating, tons of sugar every night, staying up till 2 or 4 in the morning, and you'll only sleep a couple hours or 4 hours or whatever. And so we get into this great story about all these wonderful things that she's doing. And why this story is important today is because I want you to think about this. Your first 10 minutes of dialogue, isn't it all the stuff that we spew of all the things that are not working? So today I want you to think about and write down some notes. What are the things that are working for you? What are you doing that is working for you right now? And why this is important is because I don't want you to leave feeling like you are this person that has not been doing anything good for yourself. And now I'm giving you information, and now you're going to try and add that in with that old school mindset, and you're going to still think that you have to do everything 100%, and you're going to feel like a failure. But I want you to take it back and learn what my coaching client is learning, is that, yes, you may not be perfect, but as you shift and you roll and you get inspired and you start moving forward, that you start committing to yourself more in your health and in your mindset, and being able to make changes by looking at all the good stuff you're doing. So let's pull out all the bad stuff. and let's write down some good stuff right now of what we're doing, and let's move forward with that mindset. Because all this negative stuff that this girl is feeling right here, I can't lose weight, I never finish anything, I have no time, all those feelings, whatever your emotions are that stop you from doing what you want to do, we just move forward and feel healthy and lose weight and lose body fat. Take this and move this stuff off to the side. Start building what you're doing good for yourself, and let's get moving forward. Let's go for it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, so we have a good mindset here. We're about halfway in, and this is going to go pretty quick. This is going to go pretty quick. So I want you to do screen capture if that's what you have, or I want you to take some notes. Let's talk about what your breakfast should look like. Now, most people are doing shakes, so let me give you an introductory to shakes. You may not know this, but when you drink a shake, you want to be careful of your first digestion process here. And that is making sure that the saliva gets wrapped in with your food. If you're drinking a shake, which I'm adding to your day here for your breakfast, that you want to swish it around in your mouth and make sure that you get enough saliva in there. So once it goes through your stomach and it goes into your small intestine, that it's already starting to break down and it's going to be easier on the pancreas. This is important. If you swish it and you swallow it really fast, it's going to not be broken down so much. As soon as it hits the small intestine, it's going to be extremely hard on the pancreas. It just hits it really hard and then overworks it. You know what? We're already overworking our pancreas anyway because we have sugar stuff going on. So we want to make sure that we use our digestion process all the way through. So your protein shake, almond milk, chia seeds, small apple, spinach, Greek plain yogurt. And you know what I added here? Spirulina. Now this is superfood, and this is what's going to help add a little bit of support for your thyroid. Because if you're having problems with losing body fat, having problems losing weight, then you need to add some superfoods to that. And what this is it has an extra greens in it. So I already had you add the spinach, but this gives you a big variety, and it also has some seafood, kind of, not seafood, I shouldn't say seafood, but kind of like stuff that comes from the sea, so you get the natural iodine, you get all that healthy stuff. Now, if you go out and buy this, do start off with a teaspoon first because it's very, very powerful. You'll notice that your shake becomes extremely green. So this is the nugget I'm giving you today. This is what I add in my shakes. So all of this is really good to start off with. You got your protein, you have your apple, which you're going to have your fiber, and you need that fiber really, really bad. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Digestion, making sure that you have all your fiber here and you have your greens. And then for lunch, so I hope you got a screen capture or you got your notes. Because at the end, I'll give you a master grocery list. So for lunch, I want you to have mixed vegetables or salad. Now, mixed vegetables, so we have the different colors. And then also, I want you to do some type of protein. I just added tuna wrapped in lettuce. Do away with the bread. To get rid of that extra sugar in the body. You know, as soon as bread gets broken down, then it becomes sugar in your body. And also, make sure you don't use mayonnaise when you're preparing your tuna. If you're doing tuna, add yogurt instead, and that will make it more wholesome and fresh. But your vegetables, if you want to just do a salad, or you can do some roasted vegetables, whatever you like to do. Now, you see how we've already had vegetables in the breakfast, vegetables at lunch, and you know for sure we're going to be having them at dinner. And what's important about this is how we are gathering our fiber through the day. We're gathering also our protein through the day. We're keeping the sodium down low, and the sugar is low also. And to go to the slide that we had before, we did have fruit in here. And the apple, the small apple that you had, is going to have sugar. When you are looking at your sugar levels, if you're only having 1 or 2 servings of sugar of fruit a day, I'd pull that sugar off to the side, and I'd start looking at everything else that you're doing and not go past the 15 grams. Because when you pull in The fruit, it's wholesome. It has fiber. It has water. It does all these special things for you. And so that's what you want to do, is make sure that you're keeping track of stuff. All right. So we're going into dinner here. You know what? Let's see here. I know that I want to give you a snack, and I think, okay, I want to make sure you have a snack here too, and I did not put a slide in here for your snack, because since you're having the mixed drink for the breakfast, you should definitely have a snack around 10 o'clock, and I didn't put the slide in here, but you want to have like some type of, like, maybe like a hummus and a carrot, and a carrot, well, a big carrot and hummus, so that you get your protein and you have a beautiful orange color. And someone told me something the other day, which was interesting. They were saying, oh, that's just so silly that you're telling me to eat a carrot. That is just like tons of sugar in it. And you know what? An apple does too. And we kind of missed the boat on the carrot, because the carrot is beautiful in color. And so you want that orange color. You can get it from bell pepper too. But carrot does so many wonderful things for you, and also it has tons of fiber. And so adding a carrot is actually going to help your sweet tooth. So what we're also doing with this, do you notice that we're adding a little bit of sweetness so that we can help balance some of those sugar levels, because our body's so used to craving, like the candy bars or the cookies or whatever we deal with. And so this is going to help get you back into that space where you're going to be able to help slow yourself down on the sugar, maxing out on your sugar. So think about that. Okay, so we're going to the dinner. So let's have a salad. Let's do mixed vegetables. Let's do quinoa, and let's do a lean meat. Your mixed vegetables can be mixed in with your quinoa. If you've been playing with quinoa, it's a really easy grain to work with, and you can do different things with it to have fun. And saute the vegetables, then wrap it in with the quinoa. And do the quinoa the way that it goes through the instructions. Usually it takes about 20 minutes to prepare. And then you have a wonderful mixed thing of quinoa, and you can have a big salad. I would do just like olive oil and balsamic, and I do right now apple cider vinegar, which is great. And then I would do a lean meat, and I would do it as healthy as possible. I'd go with grass-fed beef. I'd go with a free-range, no hormones chicken, but do something that's clean, because remember, we're trying to get our body in as clean of a state as possible, because at the beginning I was saying, go and get some alkaline acidity strips so you can see where your body is as you're testing and going through the process. So there is your day. Okay, so why is this a success? Well, because the total calories that we had for the day, and we're totally full after this, is 1,221 calories. The fiber that we had for the day was 38 grams. So you see how we're trying to get to 35, 40 grams? You know how we did it? We just added vegetables, and we did it in different ways. Now, the preparing of the vegetables, make sure you do it every few days. You can saute some vegetables and just throw it into different things. You can cut up vegetables and make a big salad and have it for a few days. It just make sure that you're doing your preparation time, because it saves you energy and time in the future. And it also saves you money, because if you're going out and eating all the time, there's quite a bit of money that's added in with that. So doing it this way, you're going to be saving yourself, because it's going to increase your energy so much, and it's going to change your brain power. You're going to feel smarter. There's a lot of connection with absorbing good foods in your brain and how it interacts, because how does our body get the nutrients? From our digestion. So we're talking specifically about what your plate should look like, and I call it the ultra-specific plate plan. So what does that look like? Sodium, 1,500 is what we stayed within the realms of building this day. So we didn't get any higher than that, but that's as high as you want to go. As high as you want to go. Sugar, we only got to 11 grams. So I pulled off the apple, and everything else that flowed through was 11 grams. See how that works? So here is your master grocery list. You got your protein shake, and we already had all the details of what's in there. We had I said I have a green apple here, but you can have any apple that you want. Mixed vegetables, and mixed vegetables, that means everything that I talked about, just do a big variety. Go in and just get tons of colors. Also, we had tuna on the list. We had hummus and carrots, which I did miss that slide for you, but that is going to be your snack. And then lean meat. Go and get good meat. Go out there and get good meat. Learn about your local meat where you can get free range chicken with no hormones. And you want that. You want those chickens that are not close together, that are aggravated in that space, and don't support that atmosphere also, which is important. And then you want your grass-fed beef, because you have different hormones and different things that happen chemically when your beef is being fed with grains, with different types of grains. So here's your master grocery list. So let's get out there and let's get focused today on what your next steps are. So I want you to add this in, and we are done for the day. We're out and doing our happy dance. So I hope you got all the information you need for your master grocery list for what your day should look like, because all of this is going to give you the nourishment and the focused, centered space that you need to be happy, because your brain is affected by everything that you eat. It affects your thoughts. Get out there and work out. Get yourself moving and feeling good. We're in spring right now. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. When you wake up in the morning, think about what you're grateful for. All right, so I'll leave it at that. Get you out shopping so then you can get yourself focused. And that's about it. So you have an insightful day, and I will catch up with you soon.